So today we are going to talk about the new concept called domain naming system. Correct. So domain naming system, I was telling you when I was started giving the introduction to the Active Directory. So DNS is one of the key component of the Active Directory because without the DNS, Active Directory will not work. And so what it will do, it will resolve a host name to IP address and IP address back to the host name. See, we are all human beings, right? For us, it is easy to remember the names. If I give you 1000 names, if you just read it once, next time if you again read it, you will feel like, okay, I've read it and you know it. But the numbers are not like that. Numbers are very, very difficult. If I give you like 6 digit number or 8 digit number, you will not be able to remember the number because for us it is always easy to remember the names rather than remembering the numbers. And meantime, computer doesn't understand the names or the strings. Computer will only understand the numbers, that two zeros and ones, that is called as binaries. Correct na? So what we will do for that, so we also have challenges and the computer also having the challenges. To make the challenges easier, to make that complicated task easy, we have bought a new service called domain naming system. So what it does, the domain naming system, it is a service or a protocol. What it will do, it will resolve a fully qualified domain name into a IP address and IP address back to name. So what happens when you try to access an application? If you go to browser and type www.facebook.com, the DNS query gets initiated in your computer. In your computer, we will add the DNS entry, the network interface card. So before it goes to the network interface card, what it will do, it will try to check is there any record entry in the local host file. So in each and every computer, if you go to run and type drivers, okay, we have a host file. If you go to etc file here, etc, and you see there is a host file. So this is the main host file where all the DNS entry locally can be created, not in the DNS servers, in the local machine. Okay. If you open it in the notepad, you can make the entries here. You see here there's already couple of entries are there. So this is the IP address and this is the domain name. Similarly, you can even do the entries 192.168.190.100, and maybe you can give mybusiness.com. So next time when you type in the browser like 192.168.190.100, that time also it will open, or if you simply type mybusiness.com, that time also it will resolve to the IP address. So whenever you are typing in the browser like www.google.com or facebook.com or microsoft.com, it will just come, your computer will initiate a DNS query. That DNS query will come to your local host file and it will check is there any entry. If the entry is there, it will resolve from here. If the entry is not there, then the query will be sent to the DNS cache. See here, client DNS cache means is there any entry previously I have opened. So there is a command. If you go to the command prompt and type a command called ipconfig slash display DNS, means you are asking to display the DNS resolutions happened in the past. If you hit enter, you see, if you once open any website, if the resolution happens, that resolution information will be stored in the DNS cache. So normally what happens when you go to any places, that memory will be stored in your brain, correct now? When as soon as you look at that place, or as soon as you remember that place, the information will be just come to you because that is there in the cache, that is stored in your memory, correct? At the same fashion, in the DNS also happens the same thing. So when you look for a name resolution, the DNS will initiate a query first. The query will first go and check in the local host file for the entry. If the entry is there, it will resolve from there. If the entry is not there, it will just send the query to the DNS cache here. It will just come and have a look here. Okay, is there any domain, that is the google.com? If you are looking for a google.com, see it is entry is there because I have opened google.com. So if I open google.com, the entry information is, see, record name is this one, record type is this one, time to leave is TTL is this one, and the host entry is this one. So it will pick up from here. If the entry is not here, then the query will be forwarded to the preferred DNS server. Means you have seen already, when you create a domain controller or when you domain join, you will add the DNS address also, preferred and alternative DNS. So the query will forward to the preferred DNS. So then the DNS will inside, then the query will go to the DNS server and check, is there any entry, is there any entry for that particular resolution that you are looking for. Okay, if the entry is there, it will resolve from there. If the entry is not there, then the preferred DNS server will forward the query to the alternate DNS server. So like this, the query will be keep on forwarding from preferred to alternate, alternate to some other alternate, some other alternate to some other alternate, and then maybe finally the forwarder. There is another option called forwarder, so they are publicly exposed. Like, Google has got one DNS 8.8.8.8. So when the query goes there, it has got exposure to the external world. See here, see, say for example, if the Google went now, if you put, if the query got forwarded to the 8.8.8.8, so what it will do, it will try to resolve from the dot. See here, it will look for the dot. Say for example, you're looking for a instagram.com or microsoft.com, but you are in some other domain. Okay, what happens, the forwarder will tell, I don't know who is microsoft.com, but I know a person called dot. This is the person dot. Okay, let me write it back. Yeah, the query will tell, the DNS will, the forwarder will tell, I don't know who's that person, or what I'll do, say for example, you are trying to resolve, okay, you are trying to resolve instagram.com, or maybe it's not connected. One second, my tablet is not connected. I'll reconnect it again. Yeah. Okay, that's okay. So the query will forward to this dot root, because anything that ends with .com, right? Then the dot will tell, I don't know a person, who's that person called, say for example, you're looking for this one, okay? You're trying to browse computer1.sales.microsoft.com. So the forwarder will forward, I don't know who is this computer1.sales.microsoft.com, but I know a person called dot. The query will be forwarded here. Then the dot will check, let me see if I have a person called, I don't know who's that person called computer one, but I know a person called com. Then the query will be forwarded here. The reverse, it will always try to retrieve reverse order. From ulta it will come, see. Then the query will come here. Now you manage to get .com. Then the com will tell, I don't know who's this computer one, but I know a person called Microsoft. Can you just go and talk to him? Then the query will be forwarded here. Okay, and then now you have microsoft.com. Then Microsoft will tell, yes, I know a person called sales, you talk to him, maybe he may know the computer one. Then when you go to the sales will redirect you to the computer one. Now your DNS has got the complete name, and he will give the resolution. So this is how the DNS resolution happens. So what I'm trying to tell you here, as soon as you initiate a query like www.facebook.com or google.com, the query will, the computer will initiate a DNS resolution query. Okay, that DNS resolution query will go and check in the local host file for that particular resolution name and IP address. So if the entry is there, it will take the information and give you IP address or name. Else it will, the query will forward it to the DNS cache. In the DNS cache, if you have recently accessed that application, if the entry is there, it will pick up the answer from there and it will give you. If not, then the third place, the query will be forwarded to the DNS, the preferred DNS, and the preferred DNS will check in its zone. So if the entry is there, it will give. If not, the keep query will be keep forwarded to the DNS alternate DNS server. So this, it is not necessarily only two DNS can be there. It can be multiple. 10, 20, 30 can also be there. Okay. The last one is forwarder. So the query will be keep on forwarded from preferred to alternate, alternate to some other alternate, some other alternate to some other alternate, like that. It will keep on forwarding the query. Okay. Finally, it will forward to the forwarder, and the forwarder will have connectivity to the external word, outside word, that is called as root domain. So that is called as dot. Dot means it's root domain. Okay, because the forwarder has got access to all the external public facing, internet facing websites and all. So it will take the help and the approach what I just explained. In that approach, it will try to resolve the entry, and it will give you, if nothing is there, then it will tell unable to connect. Okay, that error will come. Hope the first slide is clear. How the DNS entry happens and the resolution happens. This is very, very important. People will ask you how the DNS happens. What happens when you type www.google.com? Can you please explain what is the mechanism happens behind? It will take within seconds only, not even seconds, within milliseconds the resolution happens. So this is the process happens in the backend. Clear?
Sir, like preferred DNS means it's the domain. We enter the domain IP only
Correct.
for the, yeah. After alternate means it is in the domain, like it is a kind of a department like sales and
No, 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 no.
process. No, no.
See, you have
What, sir?
prefer, you have each and every domain control there is a DNS server, because
Okay,
not
okay.
only you are installing the Active Directory there, you are also installing the DNS server, correct na?
Yes,
So
yes,
if
sir. Yes, sir.
say for example in your organization if you have 10 Active Directory server, that means you have 10 DNS servers also. So
Okay, sir.
in the network interface card, you will only get the two options there. One is preferred and another one is alternate here. If you go here,
Okay.
ncpa.cpl, can you see my screen?
Yes, yes, sir.
So here, let this get
Mm,
open. Okay, if I just open the VMware adapter here, any adapter, if you go to properties, okay, out of 10 domain controller, you can put anyone here as the preferred. Here you can put 1.1 or 1.2. If you go to advanced, you can also add multiple like 1.3, 1.4, 1.5. You can add 10. So
okay.
whatever is there in the first line, that is preferred. This is preferred. Always this is preferred, because the first it is
Okay.
entered preferred, second is alternative, third one is another
Okay.
alternative, fourth one is another alternative. So it is
Okay.
your wish. It is not
Okay.
necessarily 1.1 is first, you can even put 1.10 first. So whatever is there
Okay.
in the first way, that is preferred, whatever is there
Okay.
in the second, that is alternative. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So that is how the resolution happens. Any questions?
Root, root means, sir,
Root means
like
dot.
dot only.
Yes, dot
Yeah,
means root. Yeah.
I didn't get actually. Root means, is it like if you enter like Microsoft.com, it, like we have like assume we have 10 ADs there and 10 domain servers are there.
Mm.
It root means it is also part of that only, or
No,
is
no,
it
no. In the
okay?
DNSC, in the Active Directory root means the very first one. In the Active Directory root domain controller means the very first domain controller. Correct, na?
Yes, sir. Yes,
But
sir.
but
Root
in the
means the first one.
in the DNS root means it is dot.
Okay, sir.
Both are different context. In the Active
Okay.
Directory, root means
Okay.
the very first domain controller. That is why we call it as a root domain controller.
Yes,
But in
sir.
the
Yes, sir.
DNS, see, DNS has got two things. One is, say for example, when I write, I don't know why it is 1 second. I don't know why it is not connected. Let me. It says connected. Remote device.
Yes, sir.
That is called as forward lookup, because there you are entering the name and you are resolving to the IP address. That is called as forward lookup.
Yes.
Reverse lookup means Only in very very rare chances, 0.01% of the time, you put the IP address to get the website. So anything that is typing with IP address in the browser, say for example here, if I go to google.com, sorry, Chrome. See, normally we will do like this only, facebook.com. This is called as forward because I'm putting the name and I'm
Okay.
resolving it. Correct, na?
Okay.
So sometimes if you go here, ns lookup facebook.com and get the IP address. Now I got the IP address. It's a very, have you ever tried with IP address facebook.com?
No, sir.
That
No,
is,
sir.
yes, that is what the reverse lookup. That is what inverse I'm talking about. So now
Okay.
I'm typing the name.
This
See,
is inverse, sir.
this is inverse because I'm
Yeah.
putting I'm putting the IP address here. See,
Okay.
but I got the website. If I go to see proceed, if I do, and I'm going to the Facebook. See, I'm in the facebook.com. So this is inverse. Okay.
Okay.
So if you're
Okay.
putting the name, that is forward. If you're putting the IP, that is reverse. But the in case of resolution, if you resolve by using the name, either that is iterative or recursive. But if you are trying to put the IP address and resolving, that is inverse. Finish.
Yes, sir.
Yep. So now you see, we will have couple of resolution types here. The same forward lookup and reverse lookup. See, resolving a name to an IP address, that is called as forward lookup. 99% of the time you do forward lookup only because we always put the name. And reverse lookup means when you put IP address and that time you wanted to see the name. See, in my case here, in my current case here, when you are trying to, I mean, when you do trace route, the 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 resolution is going to this IP address, and you wanted to know what is this IP address. See, you are doing some troubleshooting activity, okay, and you are trying to do the trace route. Trace route means you are trying to check how is my query going, how is my network connectivity is going which hop, is it going to firewall, is it going to some other places. So there is a
Ram.
yes, any question? See, if I just
Yes.
do google.com, trace rt google.com, trace rt. See, now I'm trying to check how is the connection between my laptop and to the google.com. See, this is called as trace rt. So it will tell via what is the path. Say, for example, if you want to go from Bangalore to uh, Mysore, there are two ways. One is you can go to Kengeri, from there go to Ramnagara, like that, Mandya, Mysore you can go, correct na? Another option is also there. You can go to Kunigal, from there Kunigal or Asan, you can again come to the Mysore. So you would like to know via which path I am having the connectivity with the google.com. So that time you can do the trace RT. Okay. Trace RT means it is tracing the route for google.com, and that time you may see some IP address, okay, and it is just going and landing there. From there the connectivity is not going, and you would like to know what is the device is. So here if you just need the, I mean, get the IP address, means you will not be able to understand what is this person, correct na? So for that, what you do, you can do, take the name and try to do the reverse lookup, ns lookup, and type the IP address. See here, and now you got to know this is belongs to facebook.com. See, it is a facebook.com server. Now you are able to correlate, yes, this is not, this IP address is facebook.com. So now what you have done, with the help of the IP address, you have resolved to the facebook.com name. This is called as reverse lookup. That's all. Okay. So that is the reverse lookup. So now you know forward lookup means you are putting the name and you are resolving to the IP address. Reverse lookup means you are putting the IP address and trying to get the name. Okay. So we have, is it clear? Resolution is clear?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we have DNS zones. Actually, there are three zones. Zones are nothing but the storage areas. I mean, where you can create the records. Okay. So Like in your kitchen you have multiple no cupboards will be there. Maybe your mummy will be keeping the things whatever daily needed, she'll keep in the very handy places. Rarely use rarely use things she'll keep little away, and very rarely use things she will keep in the top, correct na? The same thing here, we have multiple zones. Zones are nothing but the shelves or the storage places in the DNS. Okay, so primary, secondary, stub, three zones are there. Primary means it holds all types of records. Records are nothing but the DNS information. Say for example, when you create a new server called server 01 with the IP address 192.168.1.10, as soon as the domain join, that record will be created in the DNS. What is the record? Maybe a record, okay, and the name is server 01, IP address is 1.10. So when somebody type server 01.microsoft.com, it will just go to the zone and it will check whether it is server 01 is there. Yes. What is the IP address? 1.10. From there it will just take and give you. I'll show you that. Okay. So it will have all the records. It is an authoritative zone. It can accept and reply back to the query, and it has got read write permission. It's a dynamic zone. Means you can create all the records there. Authoritative means if you ask to give a response, it will just check whether the IP address is there or the DNS entry is there, it will give the response back. Say for example, you're looking for www.facebook.com, the primary zone will give you response, yes, I have a facebook.com and this is the IP address. That is called as authoritative. Authoritative means you are asking something and it can give answer for you. That is called as authoritative. Okay, and it has got dynamic, means as soon as you domain join any computer, okay, automatically that entry will be created in the primary zone. Or if you change the IP address for a computer, then the automatically the IP address will be getting changed in the DNS record as well. Okay, and it is an AD integrated, means the replication of the DNS can also be with Active Directory. That is why when I was doing the Active Directory partitions, I told you application partition, because DNS will get integrated. That is the reason Active Directory will create a separate partition called application partition to store the DNS information I told you. Okay, so that we can avoid two replications. The DNS also have the replication, Active Directory also have their replication. So what we are going to do, we can integrate DNS with Active Directory, so that in one replication only we can do both Active Directory as well as DNS. That is called as integrated with Active Directory. Okay, the secondary zone is the copy of the primary zone. It will only do the read operation. That's all. It will do everything, but you cannot create or you cannot delete or you cannot modify the record in the secondary zone. It is just a read only copy of the primary zone. That's all. Third one is stub zone. Take a photo of it. Stub zone. So stub zone, it is a copy of the primary zone, but it will not have all the records. It will only have three records: A record, NS record, and SOA record. A means it is host record for name resolution from name to IP address. NS means it is name servers like DNS servers address. Okay, if you have 10 DNS servers, you will have 10 NS records. And SOA means it is the DNS refresh interval. So if you have 10 DNS servers, how frequently all the 10 to talk each other to have the replication or to have the synchronization. That is called as SOA. Okay, normally you have your friends. You have some friends. Some people you daily speak to them. Some people you have weekly once you speak to them, and some people you rarely speak to them whenever the occasion comes. The same thing. How frequently the communication should happen between all the DNS server, that is called as SOA, start of authority. Okay, but this stub zone, it is not an authoritative. It will just forward the query to the DNS servers. Means he will not respond when you type I want to talk to sony.com. He will not tell you, okay, which is the sony.com record, but he will tell you I don't know this person, but I can help you with the relevant person. He will redirect you to the relevant person. That is called as stub zone. Okay, so it is also later we can convert the stub zone to the primary zone, so that all the records can be available and it does all the primary zone activity when you convert it. Okay, is it clear, guys? Any questions here? When you look at the practicals, you'll understand. Okay, Any questions? Shall I move on?
Yes, sir.
Okay. See, I was talking about DNS records. See here, DNS has got multiple records, but there are seven major records. Records are nothing but files. Okay, records are nothing but files. For forward lookup, if you are creating a record, say for example, if you are creating a record called server 1, that is called as a record. For IP version 4, for IP version 6, we will call it as AA record, 4 A's record. Okay, that is called as A record. A records are nothing but host record. Use it to resolve name to IP address. I told you, no, facebook.com, google.com, or server1.microsoft.com. That is all forward lookup. That is all A record. Okay, and pointer record means for reverse lookup. I'll show you how to create a pointer record, all those things. Okay, so you will create a record with the name. It is not with the name, with the with the number. That is called as pointer record, that used for the reverse lookup resolutions. And NS record means, I just told you, it is name server record. For all the DNS servers, we will create one record. And CNAME record means alias name. CNAME is nothing but canonical name or alias record. So you might have seen Dali, I mean Dhananjaya alias Dali, or Dali alias Dhananjay. So Dali is the alias name for a person called Dhananjaya. Okay. So Kicha Sudeep. Actual name is Sudeep, but his nickname is Kicha. Correct? Na? Like that, he has got a different name, that is called as canonical name, another name. Why do we need this? Say for example, there is a company called facebook.com, and they have acquired instagram.com, but they don't want to use instagram.com anymore. Or so what they will do, they will create an alias. What they will do, they will publish facebooknew.com. As soon as you browse facebooknew.com, indirectly it will open the instagram.com. So that is called as alias. If you call Dhananjay as Dhananjay, will turn you back. If you call Dhananjay as Dali, also will look at you back, right? That is called as alias. Another name, that's all. SOA just explained you the startup authority, the DNS refresh interval, how frequently the DNS server should be talking. That is by default 15 minutes of the time is there. And then MX record, it is mail exchange records. If you have exchange servers, mail server in your office, each and every server will be created a mail exchange record or MX record. And last one is SRV record. SRV, you take a photo of it. So SRV record means it is service relocator record. So this service relocator record will play major role. What happens if you want to search a record service available in the estate, in the environment? So this SRV record will helpful. Say for example, when you install an operating system, normally we will activate the licenses. Correct? Na? In real time, we have to activate the licenses. So what happens? We have a service called KLM, Key License Manager Service. So if the KLM service is available, it will just create some SRV record for that, and that will just broadcast among the network. So as soon as we install the operating system, the computer will detect this KLM service with the help of this SRV record and talk to the KLM service and get the license and activate it on its own. That is called as SRV record, example for an SRV record. So basically, to locate and service within the office network, okay, these SRV records are created. That is called as service relocator record. That's all. Okay. Any question with these records? Definitely they'll ask what is DNS, what is forward lookup, reverse lookup, how the DNS query will happen. Can you please name couple of DNS records? What is primary reason? What is secondary reason? These many questions they will ask in the interview. This is very important also. Okay. So this one I have already explained. Routines means the routines are the DNS servers in the internet that your DNS server can use to resolve the queries for the name that is does not know. Say for example, you are in Microsoft.com inside, but you are trying to resolve maybe some Sony.com. So that time the forwarder will forward the query to the top level domains. Okay, it will go and check in the first what happens. It will type www.server1.sony.com. example, in the browser, then the query will go and check in the local host file, nothing is there. DNS cache, nothing is there. Then the forward to the forward first preferred DNS server, nothing is there. Then it will go to the second alternate DNS server, nothing is there. Then it will forward the query to the top level domains. The top level domain is dot, okay, root. The forwarder, no, I don't know this person called server1.sony.com, but I know a person who's called as top level domain, he is a dot, can you please check with him? Then the query will forward to the dot. Then dot will look for the com, yes, com is there. Then the com will look for Sony, yes, Sony is there. Then Sony inside it will tell, yes, there is a person called computer one or server one. Then the resolution happens. That is called as root hints, and the top level domains is all about. Okay, is it clear, guys? Hello. Yeah, see here, the forwarders means are the servers in which we forward the query to the relevant DNS servers. Means forwarders means the say for example, so we have traffic manager, traffic police, correct? Now, normally previously, now it is all signal based by Puta. So when you type, if you want to know, they are the one who controls, okay, traffic, right? Here also same thing. Forwarder means this person will help you to forward your request to the relevant DNS server. That's all. That's why we will call it as forwarder. Forwarders are nothing but those are also the servers only, DNS servers only. But based on your request, he know to which server I need to forward the query and who will be responsible or who can give you the better answer. So he know that and he'll forward the query. We have another forwarder called conditional forwarder. The conditional forwarder means based on some condition he'll forward. Say for example, if your query got sony.com, then forward the query to server 1. If your query, like it is ending with microsoft.com, like server 2.microsoft.com, then you forward the query to the server B. Like that, based on some condition, it will forward the query to the relevant DNS server. So the normal forwarder will simply forward to some person, but here based on some condition, he will not simply forward to anyone, he will forward only to the specified condition met server. Okay, that is called as conditional forwarder. And some commands are there for the DNS, which is ns lookup facebook.com. I just told you, if you want to know the name and IP address of a domain, you can just go to command prompt and type ns lookup space domain name or ns lookup space IP address. I just shown you na, like how to put ns lookup facebook.com, all those things. And ipconfig display DNS to see the cache, and if you want to clear the cache, say for example here let me ns ipconfig display DNS. Okay, there are many entries are here. So if you want to clear this cache, because you change some IP address, like one server was there, server1.com or google.com was there. The IP address was 142.250.190.110, and you change the IP address to 110 to 111. But since the DNS cache is already here, it is not going and checking the new IP address. It is just always give you from here. Google.com means it is 142, 250, 190 to 110. It is giving from here. So what you have to do, you have to flush the DNS for that. If you flush it, it will remove all the information from the cache, and it will again go and talk to the DNS server and get the new IP address. Flush DNS. So see, successfully flush the DNS resolver cache. So now if you just put display DNS, see nothing is there. So only two entry. So previously there are three entries. Now you have only one entry. So like this, the DNS resolution, these are the commands which can use for the DNS resolution. Clear? So that's all about
And
the theory. Let me quickly take you to the practicals. You'll understand very clear. Okay. So I've already logged in here. Let me go to the Active Directory DNS server. Yeah. Let me make it full screen. See, you need to go to tools and open the DNS. And you see here, you have a DC0, that's my DNS server, and you have forward lookup zone, reverse lookup zone. See, forward lookup zone where you can resolve, see microsoft.com, and you see the records PC01 is there, 190.31 is there. Let me show you here. I'll go to the command prompt. See here. So if I try to, so now you ns lookup. When I type ns lookup, or in the browser if I type www or pc01.microsoft.com, the query will be keep on forwarding to the DNS server. The DNS server will come to this forward lookup zone, and it will just check, okay, do I need, do I have microsoft.com? Yes, microsoft.com is there. Do I have PC01? Yes, PC01 is there. What is the IP address for PC01? It is 192.168.190.31. From here it will pick the information and it will give it to you. Okay. Say for example, I'm trying to resolve PC02. See PC02, it is not there, unknown. See, DNS request timeout is 2 seconds, unknown, means it is not able to find the person called PC02. Even if you put pc02.microsoft.com, that time also it will not come. See, microsoft.com is not there. Then if I create a record here, go to DNS, create a new, right click here, go to new host or AA record, put PC02 and some IP address 192.168.190.13 example, and I'll just add host. See, a new record got created here. Record means it's a file, it's an information. Now if you go to ns lookup, this one, I'll just put the same ns lookup pc02, and you see now you are able to resolve it. See, now it resolved to pc02.microsoft.com and the IP address is 192.168.190.13. How it is helping? As soon as you type this ns lookup, it is going checking in the local DNS host file and then DNS cache. It is not finding the information there. It is fine. Then the query will be forwarded to the preferred DNS server, and in the preferred DNS server, yes, I have a person called Microsoft.com. Okay, and inside Microsoft.com it will look for the PC02. Yes, PC02 is there, and it will just open this file and check what is the IP address. Oh, this is the IP address. It will give from here. Okay. Now if you see, if I change the DNS IP address, instead of 13, if I make 133, okay, see now I have changed. If I do PC02, now it will give the 133 only. See, this is called as dynamic. As soon as you change the IP address, the DNS is now resolving because I'm in the DNS server only. That is why it is faster happening. Okay. Otherwise, it was showing you 113 only. Maybe after 2-3 minutes, it will show 113. Okay. So this is how. Now let me check the. This is called as forward lookup. Let me check with the reverse lookup. NS lookup 192.168.190.113. Let me check. It will not resolve because in the reverse lookup zone here, this is my reverse lookup zone. See, there is no zone only. Correct now? In the reverse lookup zone, there is no zone only. Now I have to create a new zone called, right click on the reverse lookup zone, create a new zone. Okay, next. I told primary, secondary, sub zone. Primary means it will have all the records. See, it creates a copy of the zone that can be updated directly on this server. Secondary zone, create a copy of the existing on the another server. Stub zone means create a zone containing only the name servers. I told in SOA, NS record, SOA record, A record, only 3 records. That is what I explained you. Now I will create primary zone. Say next to all the DNS domain. This is all by default. Say, and you need to put the network ID. What is the IP ranges? So here the range is 192.168.190.113. Okay, you need to add the first 3 digit 192.168.190.113. 133. So I'll start entering the IP address here. You see here reverse it will come. In the reverse lookup it will be coming reverse. 192.c, 192.168.c, 168.190. See here it is ulta. I have written 192.168.190, but here it is ulta. 190.168.192 because it is the protocol is ARPA. ARPA means address resolution protocol. Address resolution protocol. So the person who's responsible for reverse lookup resolution is called as ARPA. ARPA means ARPA, address resolution protocol. Okay. So next, finish. Now you see you have created a new zone. Okay, in the reverse lookup zone, but now also you are not able to resolve it because there is no records. Now what you can do, you can right click and create a new pointer record. See here it is not a record, it is coming pointer record because it is reverse lookup zone. But if you go to the primary zone, forward lookup zone, see it is new a record. But if you come here reverse lookup zone, it is pointer record. See, pointer record, alias record is coming. Okay, so you can create like this, like pointer record, some IP address like 159, and give some PC03, and you can add. Okay, now if you see PC03 159, see it will give you PC03. See, PC03 it is coming. Or another way is there to create the record. Just go to the Microsoft.com, right click on the existing record here, PC02, go to properties, and you see here update the associated pointer record. Just check this box, apply, and OK. Fraction of seconds if you come here, and if you refresh, that PC02 also came here. See, PC02.microsoft.com came here. Now if you just do PC0113, it will just give you PC02. See here it is still not coming. 192.168.190.113 is not coming. So what I'll do, ipconfig slash flush DNS I'll do. Okay. So now I'll clear it. Now I'll put ns lookup 192.168.190.133. See, now it came. Now you know the importance of the flush also, right? So when PC02.microsoft.com is coming. So this is how you will create the records, alias record. So what I will do for this PC02 or PC02, I would like to create an alias record. See, right click and create new alias. I want to put it as instagram.com, instagram.com. What is the record? PC02, microsoft.com. Go and browse the PC02, select the PC02, done. Now you see here, if I put ns lookup PC02, that time also you are resolving to the same IP address. See, 133. Or if I put ns lookup instagram.com, that time also it is resolving to PC03 only. Wrong spelling, insta. See, it is resolved into the same IP address 192.168.190.133, and the alias is instagram.com, .microsoft.com. So this is how people manage or mask the real identity. So you may type facebook.com, but in the backend maybe that has got a different name also, who knows. That is why if you put here ns lookup, see here ns lookup facebook.com, it will give some IP address. So this is within the server. Okay, so if I go here, that is not, I don't have internet now, that is why it is not coming there. Okay, cls ns lookup facebook.com. Okay, see, you don't know what is the server, it is simply reaching there. But now if you put ns lookup, and it will give a different one. See, this is actually not the actual Facebook server, it is the edge server of the Facebook. See, in these kind of edge servers are many. Like in India, I think we have three edge servers. Okay, for the entire India, Facebook has got three servers, edge servers. Okay, see, this is MAA2. We have MAA1, MAA3 also. I think one is in Chennai, one is in somewhere in Bangalore, somewhere another one is some north, somewhere is there. Okay, so to have the load balancing of the Facebook traffic, they will do like this. Okay, so that is the actual real name is different, Facebook is different. Okay, I mean the actual name is different, alias name is different. So now lastly, I would like to show you how can you create the zones. In the reverse lookup I've shown you, but in the forward lookup I'll show you. Right click on the forward lookup zone, click on new zone, say next, primary, secondary stuff, what you want you can just put. Okay, so I would like to create Google only, DNS, let me put google.com. So it will tell you finish. See, you created now google.com. Now any entries that you create here, that will come with pc10.google.com, 192.168.2.10. See, it got created. But again you need to create one more reverse lookup zone to resolve here. So go here, reverse lookup zone, new zone, and now you need to put the different IP address here. Next, primary, reverse lookup, you need to put this IP address, 192.168.2.0. Done. See, now you can just go to this google.com, right click, go to properties, update the record, update the it is already updated. You can see that sometime here. Okay, or if make it quick, just go here, properties, uncheck this one, apply. Okay, again go properties, update this one, apply, and okay, and you can quickly see that here will come here. See, it came, pc10.google.com. Now you can just use the command prompt. Okay, and type ns lookup pc10. See, it will 10 pc10.google.com, ns lookup dot google.com. See, and similarly if you put 192.168.2.10, it is resolved into pc10 google.com. So this is how you will play with the DNS records and all. So you can even change the IP address. I just showed you right in the microsoft.com for pc03. So you can just go pc03 and just remove the IP address 133, make it 13. This is called as dynamic. But in case of secondary, it is not. See, I'll create one more zone here. Zone google.com secondary. Next, google.com only. It won't take because uh, it has already got a name now, so that's why. See, zone cannot be created, the name is already exist. So what I'll do, instagram.com, chumma I'll create. Okay, see, instagram.com and zone created. Since the DNS address is wrong, it is not loaded. Okay, so if you go here, try to create anything, it won't happen. Or let me do one thing, let me delete this one, Google. Yes, now let me create secondary Google, secondary zone. Next, google.com 8.8.8.8. See, google.com is here. it won't load because there is no connectivity now in my base machine to the internet. I don't have any connection, so that is why. So what I can do to make it easy, ncpa.cpl and add the DNS entry here in the microsoft.com. What I'll do, I'll go here IPv4 and here I'll put 8.8.8.8. If you put 8.8.8, you will have internet because that is DNS, Google DNS. So I need to check. Okay, if it is working, it's fine. Otherwise, we'll leave it. No, it is not because connectivity is still not there. That is the reason. Okay. So fine. So this is how you create the secondary zones, primary zones, sub zones, and creating the records, updating the records, doing the resolutions. Okay. And lastly, if you go to this forward lookup zone or DC01, go to properties. You see here forwarders. Here you will have the forwarders. Like we will have 8.8.8, 8.8.8.8. This is a Google DNS. Okay. Add. So now anything that you want to add, right? If it is not able to resolve within the office network, then it will forward it to the forwarders. And you see routines also here. Many things. See a dot root, b dot root, server list. Many things are there. Okay. So you can even edit and put the this is all the IP address and all the things actually. So if you want to see the forwarder, you can just come and add some Google DNS or any other your vendor provided DNS servers can be added here. Okay. Yeah, that's all guys. Any questions? One more thing I wanted to show you is this one. Go to properties of the zone and you see zone start of authority. I told you 15 minutes is the interval. See, this is called as a 15 minutes of the interval. So one zone to another zone or one server to another server, within 15 minutes it will try to have the communication and check for the synchronization. Okay. Yeah, with that I think we are done with the DNS. Let me stop the recording and then take the questions.